Hey, you. Yeah, you. You're a lucky duck. This year, you get two Predator movies and an Alien TV series. Don't you feel special? Don't you just feel special? I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And this is the first of those things. This is Predator, Killer of Killers. Sounds very ominous. It's animated, so bring the kitties. Or don't. Probably don't. Maybe on this one they can sit it out. Yeah, it's adult animation. It's on Hulu. And it's our first animated Predator movie. I know Predator has, appeared in stuff like Robot Chicken before, but I don't think that counts as being an animated Predator. Anyway, click like and subscribe because I am the YouTuber of YouTubers. I don't know. I'm coming up with a loss. I didn't kill anybody today, so I'm not the killer of killers. There's also a movie called King of Kings that came out this year, so lots of ofs of things. So this is sort of an anthology movie. So I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but structurally it is an anthology movie. uh, so what you're going to end up finding is that the Killer of Killers, what it is Predator or the Predators or whatever, whatever species, the hunters, I don't know, they go down to Earth and they hit certain points in time. It basically takes prey and goes, that worked. Let's do that again in animated form. So it picks 3 different times in history to send a predator and face off against the greatest warriors of our time ever in history. One of them being Vikings, one of them being feudal Japan, and the other one being World War II. So against some of our greatest fighters, which is like, did they not have enough shit to fight in World War II? Oh, by the way, there's predators here. Just while you guys are already blowing each other up, we thought we'd throw another wrench. It might make for an interesting Predator movie because you'd have people on either side who, like, they're both enemies of Predator, but then they're also enemies of themselves, and it's like, what do we do? I don't know. Do we team up? Nah, I hate those guys. Fucking Nazis. But we both have to shoot the Predator. I don't know. This is tough. This is a tough call, man. So, you'll see one story. It'll read instantly. The people who are like, oh God, girl bosses. The first one is a female fighter. The first sort of killer of killers that is featured heavily is like a Viking queen. I'm just going to use that term. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know what they call their people. I don't know. We see her story and her backstory. And there's something that's really interesting about all of these stories is that no matter which of the characters is featured, they all have this weird familial like line thing, like that connects them to their fathers. They all have daddy issues. All 3 fighters have this weird parental connection. They don't have mothers. I don't even think they have mothers. Like, straight up, they're not even shown. But each one of them has a dad who they have disappointed at some point along the way, or their dad has left them, or whatever it is. But they all have daddy issues, and that's, I guess, what makes them uniquely a killer of killers. So, sort of like Disney needs to kill off the parents in order for the movie to be able to proceed. I guess in order to kill a predator, you're gonna have to have problems with your father. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. If you have a great relationship with your dad and the predator comes, you're not going to be the one that lives. That's what it is. That's what they're trying to tell you here. It's not going to look good for you. So Viking lady has to fight the Predator as he rampages through the Vikings. Creatively, she's very smart. She's a highly skilled, trained warrior that has risen to the top, and does exactly everything right. And then her story ends in a way that I'm not revealing because I don't want to spoil anything. Then the second one is features these two brothers who their father passes away, and they're sort of like on different sides of things, of this conflict, and it shows sort of their conflict, and then the Predator jumps in the middle of it. Um, so we have those brothers, and they're having to fight the Predator while also fighting themselves. They kind of realize that they're stronger together. And so their thing happens, not telling you how that works out. And the third one is Torres, who has the most dialogue because he's one of those chatty Cathys who it just doesn't shut up. He's voiced by Rick Gonzalez, and he is a young man who gets drafted into World War II. And at first we see him and he's like, I think he stole the car. I don't know. We don't really go that far into it. But he's got a car and he drives it up to his dad's place. And he's like, oh, what happened to it? I don't know. And the dad's like, if you flooded the engine, you got to learn how to know how to work the inside if you're going to do anything. And this kid wants to be a pilot. So later he's working on planes and he's in the Air Force. And he's, all the other planes are in the air, and then the Predator's hunting the pilots through the spaceship, which is kind of interesting and unique because normally they're on ground. We don't usually see the space fights. I don't think we've seen a space fight in a Predator franchise, like an airspace battle between Predator and planes. So that's interesting. And Torres is like, oh, we gotta go tell them. So he hops in a plane and becomes the hero he's always wanted to be, and joins. And I'm also not going to tell you how his story ends. There's an interesting way at how those three converge. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to say spoilers, and then you can ditch out. So there's an interesting way of how these three stories come together. But it's essentially three people who fought predators, and very gory, very bloody. Lots of decapitations, people being chopped in half. Several brutal deaths, losses of limbs. So I don't think anybody exploded. That's one of the things. I don't think the Predator just straight up exploded somebody. So no explosions. I don't know, well directed. I mean, this has not been a great year for animation so far. So it's been pretty easy for this one to rise to the top. It's already got like a 7.7 on IMDb because people are starved for a really excellent, or even close to excellent, just good animated film, just like a solid, strong one. And through really little effort, actually there's probably a lot of effort that went in this movie, Predator just kind of ended up beating I don't know, Dogman, Plankton. What else came out this year? I can't even remember. We haven't even had that many animated movies, but I'm sure King of Kings. I didn't see that. It doesn't have audio description on video on demand, so if they want me to watch it, they need to put audio description on it. Yeah, and the audio description on this is Pixelogic, narrated by Laura Post. It's good. I have a thought on that. I need to put that after my spoiler warning, because it's spoiler. And I think you should watch it, especially if you like the Predator stuff and you don't mind adult animation. Somebody was asking me how I spent my weekend, and I was like, oh, well, I saw, and I was like, it's an animated Predator movie. And they're like, animation? Isn't that for kids? I was like, no, it's not. It's funny how many people like still think that. And it's like, I mean, if you're old enough, the stuff like Family Guy doesn't appeal to you. So the term adult animation still feels like somehow like college kid animation, you know? You have to kind of show people something like Grave of the Fireflies for people to understand, like, oh shit, oh my god, okay, all right, we can have emotional depth and then I did not know that this was possible. So yeah, I mean, this is a badass movie. One of the things that I was thinking the whole time was, I like this way more than Lord of the Rings War of the Rohirrim. Like, way more. Like, I was engaged, I was in it, I was picking up what it was putting down. Is it my favorite Predator movie? No. No, it didn't beat Prey. Um, but certainly it used the premise that Prey nailed, which was, okay, so what if Predator went to a different set of warriors in time? Like, what if the Predator's been coming to Earth all this time? And then immediately, once you get Prey, you're like, oh my God, where else could we put Predator in blank? Predator, what if the Predator was in this situation, like medieval times, everybody's running around with like swords and horses and shit, and like the Predator shows up, and suddenly Lancelot has to fight the Predator. So, I mean, it seems like it's sort of like a cool idea to just sort of transplant a Predator into various situations and see how warriors in and of that time would do. Feudal Japan is kind of a cool one. You got guys flipping around with swords and shit and kicking each other in the face, and just that excellent fight sequence. Of course, Vikings. I mean, they're just like, warriors who swim in frozen water for long periods of time. They're just like, ice water is my soul. They just live in it. Um, World War II is interesting. They don't do with it what I would have done with it, but that's fine. The aerial fight is something different. So, should you watch it? Yeah, I think you should. I think this is going to be one of the better animated films of the year. Do I feel like it could have been better? Probably, but I don't really. It's like little nitpicky things. I don't know how to get this much better other than just like just little things along the way, and then the like some choices made towards the end that I would change. So once I say the word spoilers, it'll make more sense. Um and That's it. Yeah, Laura Post's audio description that I can tell you in the spoiler free section is fantastic. The violence and everything is put right out there. You know how everybody dies. And Yeah, it's good. The all the predators basically look the same. There's one that's like larger than the others at one point, and it kind of points that out. It doesn't really say how much larger, which is kind of a thing. I talk a lot about size relativity when I talk about audio description. It might have helped to say how much bigger than the other predators. Like, um, I hate to say it, but I could see. So I've still got that dumb fucking alien from Independence Day Resurgence in my head. You know what we're talking. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the alien that's like chasing down the bus. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, is it like that? um, God, it's like the only thing I really remember from Independence Day Resurgence. So, check it out on Hulu. If you have a Hulu subscription, you're really not losing anything. So, I'm gonna give Predator, Killer of Killers, a B plus. I liked it. I'm hoping we have a better animated film this year, but if this is as good as it gets, so this is as good as it gets. That's just life. You can't win them all. Um, we're halfway through the year, and we don't really have a phenomenal, knockout animated film that's dropped this year that is just blowing everybody's mind. And usually we do by this point. We have something that's just made people go, "Oh, that was really good." I guess this is it. So, okay, so spoilers, because there's one thing I have to talk about in terms of audio description. So, what ends up happening, to give context, is that each one of the champions ends up getting like taken by the predators as being like, ooh, you killed one of us, so you're a champion. So they take them and put them in like cryo freeze or whatever. So so that way these people who are in completely different time periods can all end up in the same battle in the end, which is this battle where the large ass predator that I was talking about tells them that you know, you will you'll fight the winner, you gets to fight me. And Kenji, who's the survivor of feudal Japan, is the one that says, my brother and I defeated one of these by learning to team up. But unfortunately, these three people don't speak the same language, although handily, Torres speaks some Japanese because they taught him some Japanese in basic, I guess. So he understands a couple things Kenji's saying, but nobody knows what the Viking lady is saying. Um, which is kind of funny. Nobody speaks their language. So they have to fight. Anyway, what it ends up is Torres finds a ship and tries to get everybody on it, but the Viking queen sacrifices herself at the end to save the other two, but she doesn't end up dying. They just end up taking her back, and we see her with the other, with these. Later on, she's like in cryo freeze, and there are other victors there. And one of the victors is Amber Midthunder's character from Prey. But I didn't know that because of the movie. I found that out through other people. So this is one of those like game of telephone things where I like then have to go source it somewhere else on the internet, and I shouldn't have to do that. So we're in the Predator universe, and it's a character that's been in the Predator universe, and it should have been mentioned who that was. Even if you don't say from Prey, if you say the character's name, you're going to hit enough people who have been watching the Predator movies to get that reference. She's just described as being a brown-haired girl floating in a chamber. And I was like, okay, so we've had a couple Predator movies. And I guess it could be anybody, but at the same time, Predator's also crossed over with Alien. So it could have been Ripley. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there are other possibilities that if you don't describe it, that it could be, but or it could just have been some random brown-haired girl at the end, which would have been pointless, but I don't know, maybe. My other hot take about the ending, and one of the reasons why I didn't give the film an A, is because I thought the audio description said that there were other humans. And I'm like, you can't, are they only going to Earth? This is so uninventive. There should be like other creatures that have defeated predators. Like, first of all, there should be an alien, you know, like there should be other creatures in there, you know. I know I didn't use the right term for alien, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it should just be a bunch of humans. And by the way, how many people, like, they keep losing that much to humans? Anyway, so, yeah, that's my thought, is it's one of the reasons why I didn't give the film an A, and it's also one of the reasons why I think the audio description track, it falls a little bit short for me, is I think this is a situation. And then the shitty thing is I know that sometimes studios say, no, don't do that. But so I'm not necessarily trying to drag Pixelogic on this, because Disney is famous, and this is still Disney. This is still Predator is a Fox title, so Disney has control over what they say and what they don't say. And I drug Disney. I would love to just keep dragging them. I need to do another review of Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, but I hate being like handled by Disney. I hate them coming around and deciding that blind people don't get to have the same experience as sighted people. So when they have these references, like, they don't just tell us what the thing is. So all those cameos that were in like Rescue Rangers, we didn't know who any of them were. None of them were mentioned. And a couple of characters that popped up instead of telling us who the character was, it described what the character looked like. So sighted people would have had that immediate reaction to it where they're like, oh, I recognize that. I know what that is. Nope. Nope. Disney decided in their infinite wisdom that we were not eligible for that kind of level of information in our own accessibility in that film. So here's another example of that where it's like, is this a Disney call or is this Pixelogic? And I don't know the answer to that. Either way, it's a shitty call. So, and I stand by that. So, whoever's decision it was, I don't like you. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.